and we're here talking about Turner syndrome as young adult women. So when we were just speaking, I was asking some questions, and you girls were giving us some great ideas about the pros and cons of your different living situations. And so let me just go around, and I'll first ask you to just briefly describe your current living situation. And Corinne, we'll start with you.
All right. My current living situation is I live less than a mile away from my parents. I have a roommate, and I live really close to the college that I attend, Phoenix College.
Okay. And Hailey?
I live in a in-law suite type area of my parents' house.
Okay. And Victoria?
I live far away from my parents in another country, miles, thousands of miles away.
Yes.
In a dorm.
Yes. Okay. So on the roommate situation, Corinne, you are sharing a house with a woman who is a little bit older than you.
Yep. Yeah. My this about a year ago, less than a year ago in August, I was wanting to move out. I was trying to figure out like what would be a good way for me to have to move out, and one of my dad's clients' neighbors was looking for a roommate, and she knew that I was looking for a roommate, so worked out.
Okay. And you've been living in that house for about since last August, so about 9 months, 8 months.
Yeah, I moved into that house last August, and the contract is up in April. So now I'm figuring out: am I going to move back home? Am I going to live with disciples?
Okay. Live with friends from church. Go and find another living situation. Move back home. Yeah, we're trying to figure that out right now.
You know, the room next to mine is always free.
Okay. I wanted to ask you, Victoria, do you have a roommate?
Yeah, so I was assigned a roommate by the university.
Okay. And does this roommate of yours know anything about Turner syndrome?
She didn't know anything. I kind of explained to her what it was and what it meant, but no, she didn't have any previous knowledge.
Okay. And how has that worked out for you, having a roommate who may not know Turner syndrome or some of the challenges you face?
Well, I think overall she has been pretty understanding. And she has also been pretty accepting and willing to kind of collaborate together in our living situation, and also take care of the common spaces together. So yeah.
Okay. So you have a common space. Do you each have your own bedroom, or do you share a bedroom as well?
Each of us have our own bedroom.
Okay. So you've got a little bit of privacy, but you still share a common area where you'll watch TV or eat or things like that. Okay.
Yeah, so we have a kitchen and a kind of living room where there's a couch, and that's the common area.
Okay. And that's on campus at Texas Tech University in Austin, Texas?
Lubbock.
Lubbock, Texas. I'm sorry. Okay. Corinne, did your roommate know anything about Turner syndrome before you moved in?
Nope.
Okay. And have you talked to her about it?
I don't remember if I have, but I don't think that I've talked much about it. I think before I even moved in, I did a little bit of a tour, and my mom came with me, and she kind of briefly explained, like, Corinne has Turner syndrome, she's got nonverbal learning disorder, so most of the time she's, able to be quiet and introverted, and she's not going to cause much of a ruckus, but every once in a while, you might have to communicate a little more clear and verbally direct, and so yeah.
Okay. But as far as we're concerned, your living situation with your roommate has been going pretty reasonably well. Is that
Yeah.
fair to say?
I think that I need to work on communication because I need to communicate with my roommate better. But for the most part, there haven't been any problems, no arguments, no nothing like
Okay.
that.
And that's ending at the end of this month, and now we're going to decide which direction to go.
Yep.
Okay. Hailey, you have lived with your parents ever since you were a baby. Tell us a little bit about what it's like living in this in-law suite.
So, it's nice to have my own space, but to still be able to see my parents every day. And so, yeah, I'm really happy with it, even if we get on each other's nerves sometimes.
Well, that's just normal with any roommate situation or housemate. Yeah, but it is a new level of maturity in the sense that your folks are even setting up some boundaries, saying, yes, we want you here, we love you, but why don't we agree that we're just going to see each other between these hours, and not all day or any time you want to drop in. Let's communicate beforehand. Is that where things are at now?
Not technically. I move between my side and their side of the house pretty freely.
Okay.
Because
But usually
when I'm at home all day now, I want to be with the dogs, and the dogs are usually in my parents' area.
But when I'm over
And my
there, we
mom
can
doesn't
hang
like
out
me
inside.
having the door to my area open because we have a puppy and she will chew on anything and everything.
Okay.
So if I want to be near the dogs, I have to be in their area.
Girls, would you mind scooting a little closer to the camera? Victoria's got a half the screen, and you girls are way back. No. Come on, like really close. There you go.
Like, even though you still are able to be in the living room and the kitchen freely, when I go over there, we hang out in your space. We'll watch TV.
Yeah.
We'll have snacks. Like, we don't have to be going in their space unless they invite us over to play cards or something. It's like
yeah.
Okay.
So it's not like there's a restriction,
we could
but there
make
is
it not everyday thing if you.
I don't know.
Well, Hailey, one of the things that you were talking about earlier is that living on your own, you think would be a lonely experience, and so you would want a roommate. Even if you could afford to have your own place, you'd like to have a place that you share with somebody else. Is that true?
For the human interaction.
Okay.
Because I will go stir crazy. Because for spring break, I went up to Prescott to hang out with a friend, stay with a friend up there, and she had to work. I was on spring break, so when I'm at the house all day alone till like 6 or 7 o'clock at night. So when she gets home, I'm like blah 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 blah. As my parents would say, because I had no humor in interaction.
Right. It's like a puppy that you leave home, or a dog you leave home all day. When it sees you, it's jumping all over the place. Right.
And that's how I am. Like, if I usually don't go for 2 whole days without communicating with my family, but sometimes I'm just like, oh man, I want to go over and say hi. I want to, I haven't been like interacting with people at work. I haven't talked to my roommate much, so I want to talk to my family. Like, I want to.
Yeah, and I feel like if you were to move in to the room next to mine, I feel like not only would we get to spend more time together, but we would be able to freely come and go between our 2 houses and visit parents and family.
So that's been something that you've thought about, Hailey, is having Corinne as a roommate. And if you had a roommate, you would want somebody that you knew, somebody that you had a relationship with, instead of starting something
that I can
fresh.
trust.
Right.
Because, like I alluded to earlier, a friend of mine got taken advantage of roommate-wise, and having supported her through that, and having a medical condition, multiple medical conditions, and being vulnerable in the sense of neurodivergence. I want to make sure and protect myself so that what happened to her doesn't happen to me.
But
Okay.
there's also
Let me
a lot
get.
of other things too.
Oh, I'm sorry. Can I get
Yeah.
Vicky in on this?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, I wanted to ask you, Vicky. Do you feel similar to what Hailey and Corinne are sharing? Do you think that you would like to have a roommate, even if you could live by yourself? Do you prefer to be left alone, or do you like the human interaction?
Well, I feel like if I had a person who's very close to me, like a close friend, or even another family member, like not necessarily my parents, but maybe one of my cousins or whatever, I feel like it could be something good and positive for me. But again, it would have to be someone like within my inner circle already.
Can I just? I'm sorry, Corinne. Did you want to finish your thought?
Yeah, I think that like Hailey and I have known each other for a long time. I think right now I'm 20 and we became friends when I was 7 years old. So, more than 13 years of being very close friends. And I think that one of the tough things is if I were to be friends with someone who I was really close with, it would probably change the friendship. It would put
You mean
strain.
roommate? That's
Yeah.
and I can see that too.
Because
I totally hear what you're saying there.
Because even with my roommate that I have right now, she's a great person, we get along, but there's still strain because the daily living, like the routines. If our routines are different, and it's gonna clash. If our habits are different, and it's gonna clash.
But I feel like when you say routine, do you mean like when you're up and moving kind of thing?
Like for a Turner's girl, a routine is very important. Like I take my medicine at the same time. I try to eat at the same time if I can. I try to go to bed at the same time. And one of the reasons that I moved out and tried to get my own place was because then I'm in control of my routine. Because there's a lot of other things that can change that routine. Friends, family, like events, activities that will get in the way of bedtime or medicine time or food time. Like, and it's not a bad thing to change my routine, but I feel like if I have my set routine and I don't want my roommate to change that, I don't want her schedule to change that. Like if I go to bed at 8 and she comes home at 11:30, then it's gonna put strain on the routine. And if she goes to bed at 8 and I get home at 11 because there was a teen or a campus event, then it's just.
But I feel like you and I have a pretty similar routine in the regards of like when we wake up and when we go to bed.
But like even people that you get along with,
it can change the relationship.
And especially
totally hear you on that.
I struggle to communicate. If it's nonverbal communication, I don't usually understand what she's trying to tell me unless she tells me directly, verbally, like, "Hey, this is getting on my nerves." Like, "Oh, okay, I'll try to avoid that." But if she doesn't tell me, then I'm not even gonna realize what's going on because I don't pick up the nonverbal cues.
And I think that being both having Turners and being so similar in the way we communicate and learn and are similar in our routines is what would make it a good idea.
Make it easier
to be roommates because we know each other, have a better idea of each other's strengths and weaknesses when it comes to communication.
Yeah.
Well, earlier, so Victoria, do you agree with the comments about routine? Do you thrive on routine? Do you feel like you really need to have a set routine?
Well, I haven't actually reflected on whether it's something that I feel like I need, but I do find myself often like doing those things. So I often find myself like eating, like even here at university, like eating at the same dining hall every day, like at the same time, right after class, and then like doing the same things at the same time. So yeah, I feel like I can relate to that. I don't know why I do it. Maybe psychologically it is something that I maybe feel like I need. But yeah.
Well, let me ask it a different way. I know that is Corinne was was touching on a little bit of friction between her and her roommate. That her roommate is extremely regimented. She's got a very hardcore routine. Is that what you would say,
Yeah,
Corinne? And
know,
she's established. She's a professional. She's got a nice house, a couple of cars.
steady
She's
job,
steady job. Some likes to camp and hike and do outdoor activities and things. So
But
it's
even
not
with my
like she's just a
sister-
homebody, but she does have very high organization
Yeah.
and administration expectations.
But even with my sister, you know, I'm very close with my sister. I love my sister. We talk about everything, but it was hard for us to be roommates. Like, you know, we'd get on each other's nerves. We'd, you know, like we both want the room to be cleaner, but both of us are a little bit messy, and so I would blame it on her. She would blame it on me. And then when I moved out, I was like, okay, I was the one who made this mess. I need to clean it up. You know, Ava's not even here. And then yesterday, I came home and she was like, "See what you did in my room? My room's a mess." And I was like, "I haven't done anything. I didn't put anything in here." But just because I was there, she felt like
She could blame you.
yeah, like she wants to be in control of her room, and I get that. I want to be in control of my room.
Yeah.
And I don't know if part of that is Turner syndrome and the fact that I like routine. I like to rely on myself, which I know I should, you know, trust other people and trust God. But like a lot of times I'm like, I want to be in control. I want to have a routine. I want to put things where I want to put things. I want to organize the way I want to organize. And I don't have obsessive compulsive disorder. And I don't struggle with it as much as like I know that Victoria, you talked about having that a little bit, but I I do sometimes find myself like, oh, I need to have things the way that they need to be, like, and it's almost a compulsion. I'm not gonna, you know, consult someone else before I organize something the way I want to, and then afterwards I'll realize, oh, I was being very, very strict on myself, like.
Okay. Well, let me dig a little bit deeper on this because Victoria, you said you've got your own bedroom and your roommate has her own bedroom, but you share a common space. Do you feel like your roommate's routine affects your sleep or affects your moods or affects how you do your homework or anything like that? Or do you feel like you've got enough independence, enough privacy that you can do your own thing?
Well, since we have separate rooms, I feel like it doesn't really interfere. Like if I do need privacy or like silence to do my homework, or like I need to go to bed and it's late and my roommate isn't here, like I can just close my bedroom door and go to sleep. And well, I don't know, personally, I don't get woken up by sounds easily. So I mean, even if she opens the front door of the apartment, like it's not really something that's gonna bother me. Um, and but she really doesn't like make much noise or distraction anyway. So I feel like it's been pretty good.
Okay. Do you sleep? You sleep soundly, Victoria, but do you have difficulty getting to sleep at times?
Um, Depending on the day, some days I can like fall asleep easily, and some days are harder
Okay.
to do that. But
Well, Corinne has a real difficult time sleeping,
And part of it
and
is anxiety, like that. Yeah, that affects my sleep.
yeah, and so one of the things that I think has been helpful from Corinne moving out is that she has had better sleep because there's been less chaos. Is that fair,
Well,
Corinne?
I feel like I don't know if I've had better sleep. I've been keeping track of my sleep, and I still at least once or twice a week go without sleep at all. And but now I can't blame it on my sister. I can't blame it on my siblings for coming in late. I can't. There's not as many distractions. So if I'm having trouble sleeping, it's just because my mind is going 5 different directions at once at 100 miles an hour.
Okay. Hailey, how about you? Do you have difficulty sleeping?
That's a hard one to answer because, I mean, I don't really think so, but I do move around a lot in my sleep. But I don't think I have trouble falling asleep. Give me 1 second.
Yeah, but I have a similar thing. I have trouble staying still.
Yeah.
I whether I'm sleeping or awake, I'm always like
Mhm.
moving around, and it
Like,
drives
look at
my
my
sister
legs.
crazy. My sister is like, just stay still, just go to bed, just stop talking.
Right.
Yeah, I'm the same. Like I'll be talking to my parents on the phone, and I'll just be like walking in circles with the phone in my hands because I just can't. And, my
I
parents,
hate. Do
and they're
you
like,
hate when you
why
have
don't
the
you
phone?
sit
Me too.
still? Like sit on the chair or sit on your bed or something. And I'm like, I don't know. I just have to walk in circles. Like I can't
I
be
know.
still.
I'm the same way.
Okay, I have, speaking of movement and being restless, can each of you talk a little bit about what exercise looks like for you? Exercise is, of course, important for everybody, but Turner's women are especially susceptible to challenges with weight issues and exercise issues because one, you have you can have heart challenges. Two, shorter stature. It can make obesity much more uh, easy to slip into, and frankly, with how much energy and anxiety you girls experience, it just seems like exercise could really provide a lot of relief to you. But I know Corinne has had mixed feelings about different types of exercise. She used to absolutely hate running and absolutely hate bike riding. Now she's turned a corner a little bit. She hates hiking, but she's willing to do a little walk, things like that. So, Corinne, do you want to start it off?
Yeah, last year I was at the Turner's conference, and Hailey was there too, and her mom was there, and I went to this one session. I don't remember who else was there. It might have just been um, like, I don't know if Hailey and her mom came with me. I think they were at a different session from lymphedema, but this session was talking about exercise. It was talking about the heart. And this cardiologist, someone who studied the heart, went up and they were talking about the bicuspid aortic valve, which Turner's girls are a lot more susceptible to that. But usually you're born with it.
Oh, you mean the coarticulation?
Yeah, so some Turner's women are born with a bicuspid aortic valve when they're a baby, and some develop it later on. I didn't know that. I thought that you were just born with it. But they were saying that we want to prevent the aorta dilate. We don't want the aorta to dilate, which means that it may not be the best idea to do running, like extreme cardio, but it's still good to do cardio to keep the heart strong. So like
Such as,
swimming, bike riding,
fast walking too.
Yeah, like I really like swimming and bike riding because it's still cardio. Like I'm still getting a workout, but it's not so intense that my heart feels like it's gonna stop. It's not so intense that my head
Or like
stops
dancing.
working. Yeah, dancing. I love doing dance, doing Zumba. I used to do dance.
Right,
My mom was a
yeah.
very good dancer. My mom was, yeah.
Your mom is still a very good dancer.
She is. She
Okay,
is.
Hailey, what about you? What does exercise look like for you? Do you like it? Do you hate it? What do you enjoy? What do you not?
I usually don't exercise because I don't like it.
But we like to go on walks.
I was gonna say, if you were to move in, think of all the
Walking
walks. Yeah.
Well, you live
And
in a
they would
really
love
nice
it.
neighborhood up in Moon Valley. I love your neighborhood, and I've got a friend of mine that he and I will go around the golf course on nice walks. Beautiful area and things.
Yeah, and I think that would be.
But you just won't do it on your own. You'll do it with a friend, but if you have your choice, you're going to pick anything over exercise.
Walking. If I had to choose a form of exercise, I would say walking with my pups, and with a friend. Maybe going on a occasional hike here and there.
Hailey's a pretty
That's
fast
not true.
hiker. I went on a hike with her, and she's so fast.
And some kind of dancing, like Just Dance, or
that is so much fun.
Like a game type.
Yeah.
Like I said, Just Dance, or like a boxing game, like
remember
Wii Fit or Wii Sports, something
Yeah.
that triggers that psychological piece in your mind that makes you think, oh, I'm not exercising, I'm playing a
I'm
game.
having
I'm
fun.
gonna win.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Do you remember when we had the Wii?
Because
and we
then
had
you're
Just
more
Dance?
likely to do it.
Right. Oh,
Yeah.
absolutely. Yeah,
Definitely.
absolutely.
And I have Just Dance on my Switch.
We should
Nice.
do that.
Yes.
Okay, well, we've got the afternoon activity planned for when Corinne comes over to Hailey's afterwards. Victoria, talk to us a little bit about what your experience is and what you like, what you don't like when it comes to exercise.
So I mean, I don't really like exercising, but I still do some amount of exercise in the day. And it's because I don't have a car, so I usually have to walk. Um, like between classes. And this campus is big. It's like a small city, so um, when you're on a campus that's miles long, um, it can take easily like half an hour walk to get from one side to the other.
Oh, for real?
Not more. Yeah.
Dang.
Yeah, like Phoenix College
So
is not a very big campus, but if I walk from, the science building all the way to the massage therapy building, that's a mile.
Yeah, yeah.
Dang.
But everything's bigger in Texas.
We had to throw that in there.
Victoria, do you do any exercise with friends or with your brother, or do you join any exercise classes?
not really.
Okay.
I just do like the regular walking. Again, that might not be enough, but
Well, this is the reason that I'm asking is because, when we move out, when we're not, I know Hailey, you're
Monitored.
still right. You're still living in the in-law suite with your parents, but it's not like your parents are stopping by and saying, "Okay, Hailey, time to walk." Right? Like it's up to
Mhm.
you. You set your
Exactly.
schedule. Corinne, you set your schedule. You decide, and there have been mornings when Corinne has said, "Yeah, let's go for a walk or let's go for a bike ride," and I'll do that with you. But if it was just up to Corinne, you might not do it.
Right. It's a lot easier when you're doing it with family or friends or anyone.
Because it's not just you and your thoughts. You have
exactly
conversation to, in a sense, distract you from the fact that you're doing something unpleasant.
Because that's the other thing is when I'm running, not only is my heart in a lot of pain and my head's in a lot of pain, but I'm just thinking negative thoughts. I'm like, I just want to be done with this. And eventually I will just give up because it's not the most enjoyable thing running. But I've tried to figure out, like, what do I enjoy as a Turner syndrome? And Turner syndrome, partially because we had to take growth hormone growing up, our upper body is a lot stronger. So I can do, like, handstands, push-ups, like, stuff that I didn't really
Lift
have
weights
to train
or
as much.
something.
Yeah. I actually am really proud of this. I can lift as much as my brother. And
wow.
He didn't think that I could. And he went out there and he put the extra weight on and he lifted it. And Dagny was trying to lift it and she couldn't. She lifted it, but then he added the weight and then she almost dropped it. And I went over and I was like, "You mean this?" And but Brian just laughed. He was just done.
Okay, so how much did he?
175,
175.
200, something like that.
Wow.
But I used one of those things.
I only use dumbbells.
Like I don't really train for the upper body. I don't have to do as much training. I just the monkey bars. I've always loved the monkey bars because it's so easy to just like.
I'm just afraid of falling.
Well, we've had a trampoline in our backyard. Corinne, you've played on the trampoline quite a bit, and believe it or not, that is exercise. Hailey, I know you've had a trampoline at times.
I did, but now in our new house we don't.
Okay. Would you use it if you had it?
Probably.
Would you really? Okay, because it's more
so.
fun. You're not thinking about exercise when you're bouncing on a trampoline.
You're just jumping.
Right, but it's still fun, and it's still exercise.
And there are tons of trampoline games. Popcorn, crack the egg.
But one of my friends, Isaac, he has autism, and I was in class with him from 5th grade through 12th grade. His parents would make him do 30 minutes on the trampoline every morning because they wanted him to get his energy out before school.
It's the sensory piece too.
Yes, the sensory, like it's something about jumping on the trampoline is a lot of fun.
It gives because that's a whole body sensory experience because you're literally using jumping, and then the force of your jump causes a trampoline to, in a sense, spring you back up, and for lack of better words. So it stimulates your entire body sensory wise.
Yeah, and that's one of the things I like about dancing is it's the entire body. Like you're not
Mhm.
just working one muscle. You're not just like.
And I
it's the whole
think
body.
again, I keep going back to this because I'm like, I really want you to move in with me, but I truly think we could.
This is turning into a Hailey Selinsky infomercial. Come live with Hailey.
Here are the benefits. Here are the side effects.
See, we talk each other out. I feel like we would exercise,
And we
go
miss
on
you,
walks with the
Victoria.
dogs.
We miss
Yeah,
to spend time with you.
but we could do like it would.
Yeah.
I just think it would be really good for both of us.
All right. Well, we'll think about it.
I am very.
Now, this is one of the funny things. For me, you know, we're in April in Arizona. It's absolutely beautiful outside. The little gentle breeze, the sun is shining. It is not burning down. It is a pleasant 75 degrees.
And the breeze makes it not as hot.
It's really nice out. But does it occur to you to just go out and hang out and enjoy?
We're going to the park after this to church.
I know. But if you didn't have church at the park, would you say, "Hey, Hailey, let's go out to the park. It's a beautiful Sunday afternoon."
We would do that. We would go for a picnic.
How about you? How about you, Victoria? Do you like doing stuff outside, even if it's not exercise?
Yeah, I feel like it depends on exactly what and with who. Like I feel like the activities and the people obviously make the experience. But yeah, I feel like picnics and stuff like just setting a tent and being next to the river for the day or something like that is nice.
Yeah. Okay. Well, girls, this is a good place to stop. It's great to hear your perspective. Thank you very much for talking and sharing what's going on in your lives. And hopefully we'll keep this going and get some more questions and comments from folks that are interested in what you have to say and your experience. And as always, wish you girls lots of success. And I'm so proud of all of you for all the you've accomplished and all the hard work you're putting into being successful in school and work and life. So love you, and we'll end it here. Thank you. You say goodbye to everybody.
Bye.
Bye.